Legends of the Sword. Exploring the heroes and tactics of ancient warfare. From the dusty plains of Mesopotamia to the dense forests of Germania, ancient warfare was a crucible where tactics, skill, and raw courage merged. Within the ranks of early civilizations, legendary warriors rose to prominence, wielding swords, spears, and strategies that became lore. These champions and their armies faced formidable challenges, each encounter demanding courage, tactical innovation, and often sheer grit. Through their campaigns, they left indelible marks on their worlds, crafting stories of heroism that continue to inspire us today. Chapter 1: Sargon of Akkad and the Dawn of Military Strategy. The origins of organized warfare can be traced to ancient Mesopotamia, where Sargon of Akkad rose to prominence around 2334 BCE. Known as the first emperor in recorded history, Sargon wielded not only a sword, but a keen strategic mind that allowed him to unify the Sumerian city-states and establish the Akkadian Empire. Sargon's army was among the earliest to implement the use of composite bows, giving his soldiers a critical advantage over their adversaries. Unlike traditional archers, who wielded simple wooden bows, Akkadian archers used layered materials that made the weapon both stronger and more flexible. With this edge, Sargon's forces decimated his enemies from a distance, paving the way for ground assaults. The Akkadian military also utilized a new tactic: organized formations. Where neighboring city-states relied on loosely coordinated bands of warriors, Sargon's soldiers fought in disciplined ranks. This tactic, though elementary by later standards, was revolutionary for the time and played a critical role in Sargon's swift rise. His campaigns carved out a foundation for empire building, leaving an indelible legacy in the art of ancient warfare. Chapter 2: Egypt's Chariot. Warriors and the Battle of Megiddo. Ancient Egypt is often remembered for its monumental architecture and rich culture, yet it was also home to one of history's most formidable armies. The Egyptian military, during the New Kingdom period, circa 1550 to 1077 BCE, perfected the use of chariots in warfare. These sleek, agile vehicles became a symbol of Egypt's power and were pivotal in expanding Egyptian influence beyond the Nile Valley. The Battle of Megiddo, fought by Pharaoh Thutmose III in the 15th century BCE, stands as one of the earliest recorded battles in history. Leading his forces against the Canaanite coalition, Thutmose demonstrated tactical genius by taking an unexpected route through narrow mountain passes, catching his enemies off guard. His chariots, manned by elite archers and warriors, overwhelmed the opposition, marking a decisive victory. Egyptian charioteers trained relentlessly, becoming expert marksmen with the bow and masters of maneuverability. Their tactics allowed them to encircle and break enemy formations, raining arrows on foot soldiers and disrupting ranks. Thutmose's victory at Megiddo exemplified the power of the Egyptian chariot army, and the story of his cunning and bravery became legend, immortalized on the walls of Karnak. Chapter 3: The Assyrian War Machine and the Siege of Lachish. The Assyrian Empire, circa 911 to 609 BCE, epitomized the brutal efficiency of ancient warfare. Known for their relentless aggression, the Assyrians developed advanced siege tactics and a psychological warfare approach that struck fear across the ancient Near East. The Siege of Lachish, conducted by King Sennacherib around 701 BCE, is one of the most documented battles of Assyrian conquest. Facing the fortified city of Lachish, Sennacherib employed a combination of siege engines, battering rams, and scaling ladders. The Assyrian army's engineers constructed large earthen ramps to breach the city walls, a tactic that would later influence siege warfare for centuries. The Assyrian military was structured for maximum efficiency. Soldiers were highly specialized, from archers and slingers to engineers and charioteers. This specialization, along with strict military discipline, allowed the Assyrians to coordinate complex assaults. Their psychological tactics included parading captured leaders and displaying atrocities to terrify their foes into submission. Although the Assyrians' methods were ruthless, their legacy in warfare tactics left a significant impact, particularly in siege engineering and organized assault strategies. Chapter 4. The Spartan Phalanx and the Battle of Thermopylae. Few armies are as legendary as the Spartans, whose entire culture was centered around military excellence. Known for their bravery, discipline, and relentless training, Spartan warriors represented the pinnacle of Greek martial prowess. The phalanx formation, which involved tightly packed soldiers bearing large shields and long spears, was their signature tactic. The Battle of Thermopylae in 480 BCE exemplified Spartan valor. King Leonidas led 300 Spartan warriors alongside several thousand allies against the Persian army under King Xerxes. Despite being vastly outnumbered, the Spartans held their ground at a narrow pass, using their phalanx formation to neutralize the Persian advantage in numbers. Each soldier relied on the man beside him, creating an unbreakable wall of shields and spears. The Spartan phalanx was a revolutionary military tactic that relied on discipline and unity. While Thermopylae ultimately ended in defeat, the Spartans' courageous stand became legendary, symbolizing the heroism and resilience of ancient warriors. The story of Leonidas and his 300 has inspired countless generations, serving as a testament to the power of strategy and solidarity in the face of overwhelming odds. Chapter 5. Alexander the Great and the Art of Tactical Innovation. Alexander the Great, the Macedonian king who conquered most of the known world by his early 30s, was a military genius whose tactics are still studied today. His campaigns across Persia, Egypt, and into India brought him face to face with varied terrain, climates, and fighting styles, forcing him to adapt and innovate continuously. The Battle of Gaugamela in 331 BCE is one of Alexander's most celebrated victories. Faced with a larger Persian army under King Darius III, Alexander employed his signature tactic, the oblique phalanx. By concentrating his forces on one side of the enemy line, Alexander created a gap, allowing his cavalry to charge directly at Darius's position. The chaos that followed led to a Persian rout, cementing Alexander's control over the empire. Alexander's tactics were as much psychological as they were physical. He adapted his formations to exploit enemy weaknesses and maintained morale through personal bravery, fighting on the front lines alongside his men. His reputation as an undefeated conqueror transformed him into a living legend, and his tactics influenced military strategies for centuries. Chapter 6. The Roman Legions and the Triumph of Discipline. Rome's military might lay in its highly trained and organized legions, which became the foundation of the Roman Empire's expansion. Roman soldiers were renowned for their discipline, rigorous training, and adaptability. Unlike many ancient armies that relied on heroic individuals, the Romans emphasized collective discipline, with each soldier trained to fulfill his role within a larger system. One of the most remarkable examples of Roman military prowess was the Battle of Alesia in 52 BCE. Julius Caesar, leading a Roman army, faced a fortified Gallic city defended by Vercingetorix and a massive Gallic relief force. In a tactical masterpiece, Caesar constructed a double line of fortifications, one to besiege Alesia and another to defend against the incoming Gallic reinforcements. This strategic encirclement trapped the Gauls, leading to a decisive Roman victory. The Roman legion's success was due in part to its flexibility. Soldiers could form different configurations based on the situation, adapting to open battles or sieges with equal ease. Their combination of engineering, logistics, and combat skill set a standard for future military organization and left a legacy that influenced European warfare for centuries. Chapter 7. The Warriors of China and the Warring States. In ancient China, the period of the Warring States, 475 to 221 BCE, saw the development of sophisticated tactics and weaponry. Each state sought dominance, and this era gave rise to innovations in military strategy, technology, and even philosophy, as outlined in Sun Tzu's The Art of War. The Battle of Changping in 260 BCE, fought between the states of Qin and Zhao, marked a significant turning point. Qin's general, Bai Qi, used deception to lure the Zhao forces into a trap, encircling and ultimately defeating them in a brutal confrontation. This victory helped Qin consolidate its power, leading to the eventual unification of China under the Qin dynasty. Chinese military philosophy emphasized strategy, psychological warfare, and the concept of winning without fighting. Sun Tzu's principles, including the importance of adaptability, espionage, and morale, influenced not only Chinese warfare, but also military strategies worldwide. The unification of China and the establishment of centralized imperial rule were direct outcomes of the military innovations developed during the Warring States period. Conclusion: the legacy of ancient warfare. Ancient warfare was a crucible of innovation, courage, and adaptability. From Sargon's early empire building in Mesopotamia to Rome's disciplined legions, each civilization brought unique tactics and strategies to the battlefield. These warriors and their methods did not merely define their time. They created a legacy that influenced